One of the darkest places in my life is when it comes to this topic. I got a hold of some tapes when I was a little girl, and ever since then, my interest was piqued, and I couldn't stop.
And I would wait till everybody went to sleep, and I would watch the movie channels late at night. I would learn the passcodes. I was a sneaky kid. When I was 12, I received the Holy Spirit, the baptism with the evidence of other tongues. I felt like something was happening to my body, but I hadn't drank anything or smoked anything or done anything. So it was like, for me, it was like a fix for me. I was like, I like this feeling. What is this? Who is this? I would pray and I would read the scripture and try to find him and like just talk to him. I talked to God all the time. And I felt more and more and more of his presence. But then I started watching these movies and it made me feel so bad. It made me feel so dirty. And I remember trying to pray again. I remember trying to talk to God again or worship or anything that had to do with God and just feeling like he is so mad at me. I know he's so disappointed in me. I know that he's not pleased with me. I'm not right because all I can see is those images that I would feed myself. I would see those images in my mind. But I knew that I loved him and I really wanted to please him. But I couldn't because I had this desire to watch these movies and to watch this stuff. I guess one day I made a choice that I was going to stop because I didn't want to lose what I felt and what I experienced, which was his presence. I had to have that. It was like, this feels better than when I watch that. And I don't like the way I feel once I keep watching that. So I'm going to stop. And then I would have the opportunity to watch it again. And I didn't. And I felt so good. I was like, man, I'm really free. I'm actually free. So then fast forward 2012. I was out of town. I had just finished a recording session, a writing session. I was just checking emails and looking online, something popped up or came up that led me to a pornographic website. And I ended up searching for videos and watching videos. At this point, I was pretty spiritually mature, pretty close to God. I'm a youth leader, I'm a worship leader, I'm a minister even. I mean, I've laid hands on people and I've helped people and I've mentored people. But here I am back in this situation again, doing something that I know I'm not supposed to be doing. But it seems like there's a hold on me and I cannot break it off. I think I just cut on some worship music to try to find some semblance of God's presence to take me out of that place. So I opened my computer and I started playing this song. You are the Lord of the dance, you're the dancing Lord. You are the Lord of the dance, you're a dancing Lord. You are dancing over us. She started saying, like, you're singing over us, you're twirling over us, you're laughing over us. I never heard that in the song before, especially talking about God doing those things. Kind of saw him as like mostly disappointed and angry. And then in that moment, God spoke to me and he said, will you dance with me? I was like, what? And he said, will you get up and dance with me? I felt so stupid. And there was nobody even in there with me. I was in the room by myself. But yet I still felt silly. I don't know how I ended up doing it, but somehow I got up, and as that song was playing, you are the Lord of the dance, you're a dancing Lord, I just started dancing. And I closed my eyes, and by faith, I just imagined that I was with Jesus and I was dancing with him. And suddenly, this overwhelming, intense increased more than ever before in my life. Presence of the Lord just fell on me. And I just collapsed and I began to just weep and weep and weep. And it was like at that moment, I was free, and I have been completely free from watching pornography. He started to talk to me about what that was. And he told me that there was an emptiness. There was a longing for more intimacy, to be close, a longing to be close to someone or something. Some people will say, well, that's just because you never had sex before. You just need some. But then why are there people who are having sex who are still addicted to pornography? Because that's not it. Because there is this space that is deep. It's like a chasm in your heart. And it can only respond to the depth that is God. That's what it means in the Bible when it says that deep cries out to deep. My heart is actually crying out for God. It's not crying out for another sexual partner. It's not crying out for marriage. It's not crying out for a man. It's not crying out for a threesome or a fantasy. The depths of my heart are crying out for the depths of his heart. Like, think about the older you get, there are certain wavelengths and frequencies that you can't hear. Younger people can hear higher frequencies. And just like animals can hear pitches and frequencies that humans can't. Likewise, there is a cry coming from every human heart. There's only one thing or one person who can hear that and who can answer that. Otherwise, it's just like somebody trying to send a signal to me that only a dog can hear and wondering why they're not getting anything. It's because the signal was for the dog. It was not for me. The signal coming from your heart is for God. It's not for the world. And the more that I open myself to love him in these intimate ways and to break past these boundaries of what I feel comfortable or where I feel I look silly or where I feel is a little ridiculous or where I feel maybe too extravagant and too much for somebody I can't see, the more that I break past those boundaries and just give my all, like all of my heart, praise with all of my heart, worship with all of my heart, seek him with all of my heart, no matter what that means. Whatever I'm doing, whatever it looks like, it's just coming from my heart, 100%, with my whole heart. The more I give him that, the less I have need for anything else. And I haven't been back to porn since. I haven't looked at it since. I haven't had a longing for it since. I found out where my frequency is crying out to, and he answered that cry. And he gave me what I needed to keep me from those other things. I see where the smoke and mirrors have been deceiving me and where they've been deceiving you, where they've been deceiving millions and millions of men and women and teenagers in this billion-dollar industry that is speaking to eros, erotic love, that is devoid of any emotion or any aesthetic beauty. And it is speaking to something in you because you haven't met the thing that is superior to that inferior feeling. Imagine, I was freed from pornography. Nobody had to lay hands on me. Nobody put oil on my forehead. I didn't go up to any altars. I wasn't in church. I just cried out to God, mostly without words. And all he said was, will you dance with me? He's so in love with you. Even when all you want to do is watch pornography, he just wants to dance with you. Will you dance with him?